Welcome to the Empowered Spirit Show. This is your host, Terry Ann Hyman. I'll explore the connection to the human spirit in a way that helps to navigate your life, including crisis. I am passionate about helping you to open up to your intuition and the metaphysical world of spirit to find your confidence in your own inner guidance. Take a pause, be inspired, learn ways to show up focused, centered, and more dynamic in your everyday life.
Welcome back to the Empowered Spirit Show. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining me today. This episode is being sponsored by Ritual and Shelter. Are you looking for a magical place to shop and hold space? Check out Ritual and Shelter online or in Homewood, Alabama. Browse through their bookshelves covering topics such as energy healing, crystal healing, Reiki, chakras, auras, the Akashic records, shadow work, astrology, and earth-based healing. You can also find herbal teas and tinctures alongside their crystals and oils to help establish a mindful mindset and fluid ambience before meditation, ritual work, and reflection. Ritual and Shelter is dedicated to providing one-on-one, in-depth conversations with customers to help them find the most efficient healing methods and resources that match their unique interest and energy. They offer tarot sessions, Reiki, sound bowl, and crystal healing, and now they are offering witch consultations. Visit ritualshelter.com to book an appointment and bring peace back to the body, mind, and spirit. You can also find them on Instagram at Ritual Shelter Shop, as well as Pinterest at Ritual Plus Shelter. So as this podcast goes to air, here we are, the first real week of the new year. We're moving into a full moon in the sign of Cancer, which means that this can be a very sensitive time, a time of emotional clearing, deep intuitive insights as well. A lot is going on in the cosmos as we start off this year. So much movement. And the tendency for all of us, we know this, new resolutions, going to do this, going to do that, and feel like this first week you have to accomplish everything. Yet, in the cosmos, Mars is actually retrograde, which is like pulling us back. Mars is our planet of action. So even though we feel like we got to do it, we really have good intentions, going to go to the gym, going to work out, going to change our diet, take a pause, take a moment, because that Mars energy is kind of pulling us back, which then you can feel a little bit of discord going on within you. I want to do this. I have the resistance. I don't want to do this. I have the desire, right? But the message really is to just kind of go into that gap. I was just talking about this on my weekly pages, the Akashic records, my live readings, where being in that gap between the resistance that you may feel inside with the desire, putting those intentions outside, you may feel that. But when we can move into that gap, we can take a pause. And you can really honor with gratitude that you have this awareness of the resistance and the desire. And then with that gratitude, it will help you to bridge that gap that you may be feeling as we start off this new year. It's always exciting for a new year, but then the Monday morning comes around. It's like, oh, here we go again. And one of the things I was sharing in my yoga class on New Year's Day was the whole idea of being brave to continue to show up day after day, in and out, even when you have loss, even when you have fallen down. The courage to be brave, to continue putting one foot inside of the other, is really that feeling that we have as we go to start this week. We are in a time that's going to see lots of changes all around us in the cosmos, in our world, in the physical world. And so really having the ability to find the tools and techniques to slow down, take a breath, take several breaths as far as I'm concerned, to allow you to not react. Some of that Mars energy, you'll want to react, you'll want to get frustrated, you'll want to get mad, but then just remember, oh yeah, it's in retrograde, it's pushing on my buttons, so what can I do? Slow down. Tune in to the higher self, to your intuition, and it is an opportunity to connect with your spiritual practice, with the tools that can help you to fine-tune your energy, to fine-tune those intentions you want to set, and to really have that patience with yourself. Having a spiritual practice can help you to do that. Having the tools that make up a spiritual practice is what I'm talking about. The tools to breathe, to meditate, to use Reiki, to use your intuition is going to help you tune into this year in a different way. I think it's going to be a year as we start off, lots of changes, and then as we move through the year, more action then. So having that patience with yourself to know what needs to shift is going to be really important. And allowing yourself to tune into your own spiritual practice is going to help you to do that. So I know it can be hard to know how to start if you don't have a practice, or maybe even pick back up when you have so many tools. Maybe you have had some trainings and you've kind of just gotten so far away. You go, what do I do now, right? Schedule a complimentary spiritual upgrade call with me, and let's talk about it. And I can help you find the tools and the ways in which you are blocked to get you back on track. Schedule a call. I'll put the links in the show notes. So in today's episode, I just noted that it is my 333rd episode, 333, which is, if you know me, my favorite number. Yep, it is. It's a very powerful number. It allows us to look at what we have going on and to really take a step back and to open up and to find those deep messages coming through. It is a way in which we can bring the aspect of who we are and how we fit in to our community forward. It's a time to awaken our spiritual abilities and find ways in which we can bring this aspect of ourself into our everyday lives. Now, as I just mentioned, one of the ways in which we can develop our intuitive skills is to work in the Akashic realm. All right, many people think you got to be an intuitive, you got to be a medium, but no. When we work in the Akashic realm, we open up into higher dimensions. We open up into infinite potential, and our intuition will grow. So here's the thing. Let me share my story. I began my spiritual path by learning Reiki. All right. I was going through lots of trauma, marriage that wasn't working, panic attacks, nothing was working until I met a teacher. And then I found out I could learn Reiki for myself. I could learn to work on my own energy. I started noticing big shifts in myself and my family. And I started noticing that my intuition was growing. I started being able to feel other people's energy and sense what was going on. But then it became a little confusing because, like, is this my energy? Is this my pain? Is this my emotions? And so I knew I needed further training. So I began seeking out teachers of intuition. One of my first ones was Laura Day, love her. She really helped me. I was up at the Omega, studied with her, and then started studying with other teachers, learning more and more, growing and growing. But there was still something kind of missing. I wasn't really like trusting it. I remember one teacher told me, like, if you don't use your intuitive gifts, you sin in penalty of them. Like, meaning if you aren't really trusting them, you're going to be wishing you would, and you're going to be sitting in that place of uncertainty. And so I knew that I needed to start finding ways in which I could really trust. And so here's the thing. I went and got a candle. It was a manifesting candle. And so you would light the candle. There was a little poem on the candle. You'd read it. And so I would read it every day, every morning. And just started asking for help, guidance, manifesting. How do I do this? What do I need to know? Who do I need to seek help from, right? These kind of questions, kind of new in the world. And then I was guided to an Akashic record session. I found an ad on Facebook, all right? And so I said, oh, this sounds interesting. Let me see if this could help me. So I booked a reading. We went in, we read. She gave me some tips on how I could be more abundant in my life. I still can kind of see some of the energy about plants and growing and adding into that force of energy. And I thought that was very interesting. But yet, I still felt a little puzzled in my own intuition. And again, it's kind of like Reiki for me. I mean, y'all know me that I like to teach Reiki because I feel it empowers us. And so it's the same thing. It's like, do I have to keep going for readings? Now, readings are great, and I love to get them. And it's a great way, especially if you're stuck and you need an outside observation. It's a great reading to have for your soul. So both are good. But I knew that I wanted to be able to access this wisdom all the time for myself. Not only was that reading kind of interesting and led it to me from that candle, that manifesting, but it turns out the woman that was reading me, and I did not know this until I started talking to her about the prayer I was saying every day, the ritual, and it turns out it was her company. Now, I had no idea. It wasn't like I looked on the candle and said, I'm going to call her. It was just one of those intuitive things, those guidance that came forward, which became even more intriguing for me to really want to learn more and more about my own abilities. Here I was guided without trying, and yet I did follow it. So there was definitely something inside of me which led me to want to know even more. So working in the Akashic realms is a way in which I began to really understand that I could learn more about my own soul's journey, found a teacher that could teach me how to work into this realm of possibilities, and started learning more and more. And I found that when I worked in the Akashic realm, my clairvoyance was just there. And then the hearing, the clairaudience came in, and then the feelings, clairessence would help confirm, and then there was just a knowing. And so I began to gain confidence and trust in all these messages that was coming forward, working in the Akashic realm. It was a way in which to bring all my tools together. And it was a way in which I noticed that working in this realm of possibility, I could really develop my intuition. So you may ask, like, okay, well, why? Why can't you just be in your normal every day? And you can. I'm not saying you can't. But working in the Akashic realm was a way to help me to really develop these skills and use it for my everyday life. So one of the things that happens in working in the Akashic realm, there's several, is that it clears the mental chatter. So as we learn to have this foundation to open us up into this realm of possibility, we clear all that chatter going on. And so it takes us out of that everyday thinking and moves us into a quieter mind and allows for clear intuitive signals to come forward. And then when we work in this realm, as we set up this foundation, we call in the higher self. And we allow the higher self to have more connection to our soul, to our spirit, to our messages. And we start to trust and filter in those messages with our higher self, bringing greater clarity as well. Aligning with the higher self, you can do that all the time. You just have to remember. And so when you have this foundation to work in and you practice with it in your everyday life, it is there for you. We also have in the Akashic realm a heightened awareness. We're engaging with the records in a way that helps to create this amazing consciousness, this expanded consciousness that heightens, that gives you these sense of like animations. You start to feel this sensitivity in a greater way so that you perceive the subtle energies, the emotions, the messages, enhancing your intuition. And I work with all of them. It's not like we just have to have one, right? We begin to see and hear and feel and know, and they all work together. We also open up to this awareness without judgment. One of the best things about working in the Akashic realm, there is no judgment. We get out of the limited beliefs. We move through the 4D. We're in 5D, 6D, 7D, all the way up to 9 dimensions we can. And we get out of those limited beliefs and the judgments of our soul. And we just allow the forgiveness. Oh, we observe what has happened, what we've been through, and we learn from those lessons without judgment. It's such a beautiful way to work into the realm and work with your soul to free those old imprints. We have access to universal knowledge in the Akashic realm. We really have access to all of the lifetimes. And so the more we start to develop our intuition, the more we start to bring this in. Now, here's the thing. The mind can't remember all of our past lives. The mind can't even remember when we were babies, but yet within us, the body knows. And so as we work in these realms and we open up to all of our intuition, all of our abilities, then we start to kind of feel or sense recognition that's held in the body, which confirms what we're bringing forward, which then adds to us trusting our own intuitive abilities. Pretty amazing, because then we have the validation of our intuitive insights. That validation is huge. And once we feel that and we bring it to the surface, then we can break free. And then we can reestablish new pathways through our spiritual tools to help reinforce these new possibilities coming in. You can feel those old energies. It's really amazing. And I've seen this with myself and I've seen this with my clients. They have a sense, they feel it, and we work with that. We bring it forward. And then we begin to break free. And then that helps them to also trust their intuition because it's real for them. They sense it. There's this animation, this universal energy that comes forward within them, a knowing, which confirms their own ability to understand more about their own soul and their own intuitive ability. And then from that, personal growth and healing comes forward. The insights gained from the records can lead to so much growth. Yes, we do continue working with it. Yes, we do reinforce those new neural pathways, but the awareness is huge. The awareness itself is healing. But then we bring these tools back into our 3D world and we start to find new pathways to work with these uncoverings, these abilities, and we start trusting our intuition and we start following that intuitive ability as well. So overall, really, the ability to access more and more wisdom, cultivate awareness, foster that connection with your guides and your angels, your higher self comes forward, building the confidence and trust, all of your intuitive skills and development comes forward for you. So amazing, all the many things. And again, this isn't just for people that just do this work or do these readings or intuitives or mediums. This is for everybody. I mean, even in your work, at your office, don't you want to have greater intuition? To understand decisions you need to make, people you want to work with, new projects, new ideas, so many ways. We can't just go around thinking in the intellect. It's time to open up to the deeper resources we all can access. So let's take a moment to pause and center and go through a meditation designed to help you open up your own intuitive abilities. So let's begin. Taking a nice deep inhale and exhale, beginning to allow yourself to slow down. Inhale, expanding the breath up the body. And as you exhale, pulling the breath all the way back down, calming. Calling in the sacred elements as we open up to this process. We start with fire. Calling in the element of fire to inspire the soul, to come in, to slow down. Noticing how the fire turns into the element of air, to clear the mind, to clear the space. Taking another deep inhale, breathing up the body. And as you exhale, we call in the element of water to open the heart, allow the emotions to flow. Inhaling and exhaling, calling in the element of earth to ground, to center. Taking another deep inhale, expanding the breath up the body. And as you exhale, begin to align the spiritual body right on top of the emotional, mental, physical bodies, all centering. Inhale, expanding the breath up the body. And this time as you exhale, dropping into the heart, right into the deepest part of your heart, feeling that connection, your spirit and the greater spirit. Know that you are loved, guided, protected, feeling all this energy coming in around you. As we call in the Reiki masters, the teachers that have come before us, the angels, we call them in to open the heart with joy and love. Calling in the crystal beings for amusement, magnification. And now we call in the higher self right above the crown to filter and receive these messages for you. Taking another deep inhale and exhale. Coming right into the center of the heart, pausing right here. And now take a moment. Notice as we go to set up our practice how you feel. Notice the visions, the energy, the colors, the light that comes in, the seeing. Notice what you hear beyond my words. Noticing what you know as you set this practice, this foundation, to allow for the growth of your intuition. This is how we begin. Taking another deep breath up the body, moving beyond the higher self this time into the higher realms. And now we exhale all the way back down, slowing down all the way. Let the breath go all the way beyond the feet, deep into the earth. We begin to open up our radiant light body. Inhale, breathing up the body. Exhale, breathing all the way back down, creating this radiance, this channel of light. Inhale, expanding the breath up the body. And as you exhale, bringing the breath all the way down. Each breath building this radiance. Opening up these channels of light. Inhaling and exhaling. Coming back into the heart. Pausing right here in the heart again. Noticing this channel of light. How does it show up for you? A sensation, a feeling? Can you see the white light? Can you see the tunnel? Can you hear the energy opening? All goes into creating these abilities, this knowing. And now take another deep inhale as we expand from the heart. Expand and open the aura this time. Front, side, back, side. And exhale, breathing all the way back into the heart. Inhale, expanding that breath again, opening the aura all the way around. Let it open up. And now with the aura open, begin to notice again. What do you hear and see and feel and know? All these many sensations. And now exhale, coming back into the heart. Getting familiar with the aura, your field of energy. Inhale and exhale. This is how we create that foundation to work with. Returning to that vertical breath, breathing up the body. And exhale back down. Inhale, breathing up the body, moving through these tunnels of light. Exhale, breathing back down. Coming back into the heart. Step by step, we build this foundation. And now one of the intuitive tools is what we call the analyzer. We want to turn down the analyzer. That's the judgment, the doubt, the questioning. So here's where we start to have a little fun and we start to build those intuitive skills. Right above the higher self, I want you to imagine a scale, a little gauge. And on that little gauge is a red arrow turned all the way up to 10. So imagine, visualize, seeing this scale. Notice what you notice. And now with each breath, we're going to imagine that scale coming down, dropping down, letting go of all judgments, inhaling and exhaling. As the scale begins to fall, that needle goes from 10 to 9 to 8. Take another deep breath. And as you exhale, we notice again, it goes from 7 to 6 to 5. That little red scale, that little red arrow, how does it show up for you? Take another deep breath, breathing up the body. And again, as we exhale, we see the scale dropping. 4, 3, 2. We're going to leave it right at 2. We want to have a little discernment with this work that we do. Inhaling and exhaling. As we start to move into the higher realms, now we open up without judgment all the way into the higher realms, moving through the channels of light, opening up. Higher and higher we go. Calm and centered, opening up into these channels, moving through, asking permission to enter. We find ourselves now in this beautiful gallery, channel of light, And now as you are there, imagine, pretend, visualize, noticing all around you. How does this show up for you? There is no right or wrong. How do you perceive this realm of infinite possibility? Is it stars? Are there bookshelves everywhere? Perhaps it shows up as color. All the colors of the rainbow, white, gold, yellow, blue, pink, all the colors around. Maybe you hear the sounds of guidance, messages. Maybe you feel a difference in sensation, in temperature. All are ways in which we start to access and grow our intuitive abilities. Take another breath, reaching up into this realm of possibility. And again, notice, look around, sense, hear, feel. How does the energy show up for you? What is the greatest way in which you can perceive this for yourself? Let's go a little further. Let's call in the guardian of your records to come in to this galaxy of light. Call it in. Simply ask, and now notice. So for me, I began to see the energy of my guardian showing up. For me, this shows up as a tall figure, carrying a book, sometimes with a hat, sometimes not, depending on the reading. Notice for you. Perhaps you hear the shuffle of energy coming forward, closer and closer. Perhaps you see a crystal, a being. Perhaps you feel the presence. Noticing for you is the key. Because each time we come into this galaxy of light, the realm of the Akashic records, we build upon this foundation. No right or wrong, but it is up to you to establish this foundation for you. We sense it, we hear it, we feel it, we see it. We don't judge. So now notice for you the galaxy, the guardian. Make an imprint of it. Because each and every time we come back, you build upon these connections. It can shift, it can change. But as you begin to create this foundation, we like to have it show up each and every time. We set it in motion and action and hearing and feeling and seeing. We come back to it, and then we recognize when messages come in, oh, something new coming in, a new color, a new feeling. Just like we do with our sacred spaces in that 3D world, we do this in the Akashic realm, opening up, setting that foundation. Now, as you're in this realm, your Akashic realm, notice. I'm going to send some Reiki. Han sensation in, Han sensation in, Han sensation in. Sending some Reiki to you. Right into the heart. Notice how that feels. Trust, it's coming. Feel the heart warming. Feel the sensations of the body shifting. Breathe. Notice. How does this show up for you? Feeling it, hearing it, sensing it. This is the foundation we build upon using all of our tools. The awareness comes through that intuitive brain, not the logical, the intuitive. That's why we slow down, calming down. Take a breath. And now my guides are showing me a beautiful pink rose quartz crystal. The guides are offering. So we call in the spiritual crystal beings, the ethereal beings of pink rose quartz. Notice little tingling. Notice lifting the beauty, the softness. And again, checking in. How does that show up for you? Take another deep inhale. Feel all this energy around us in our auric field, up in this higher dimension with the beautiful rose quartz, with your guardian there ready. In this galaxy of light, trust. This is your galaxy, your Akashic realm. Take a deep breath. We make a commitment to continue, to come back to this work, to grow our abilities, to trust. Inhaling and exhaling. Taking 1 or 2 more moments to feel this energy all around you, within you. And then we seal in this energy. Shokure, shokure, shokure. We receive the rose quartz. We receive the energy of our guardians with us through our higher self. And then we start to bring that awareness back down, taking all this energy with us, back down through those tunnels of light, all the way back down. We want to ground our energies. Take another deep breath. Exhaling back down, feeling yourself grounding. And then we begin to separate out our energies. Imagine your energy with you, mine with mine. We imagine a crystal ball above our head. We begin to see our name in red. Pretend, imagine, visualize, or reach into the higher realms and releasing fresh light all the way through. Your light, my light is me. We start to bring the awareness back, noticing as we come back how you feel. Addressing, here we are, back into this present 3D body. Take another breath. And now this vibration, as you come back, as you open your eyes, come back, this vibration will stay with you for a little bit. Notice how long you can hold it. Be in touch with that higher self. Acknowledge if you saw a color, a sound, anything at all. When we acknowledge, confirm, it builds the confidence and the trust. And so we continually build this, and this is how we receive messages. Intuition is so important. Especially if you work for yourself, an entrepreneur, you need intuition. For so many things, decision-making, making choices, new projects, new ideas. Even if you work for someone else, you still need to have the ability to trust your gut. It's not as hard as you think to build it. Takes a little practice, a little guidance for sure, a little confirmation. So what did you learn in this guided meditation? Did you see at least one thing? Hear something, feel something? That's the beginning. That is the work we can do in the Akashic realm. This will develop your intuition. I know for me, this is where mine just really took off. Allowing myself to use all the senses. One confirms the other. Then it grows. Then we start getting into more details. Looking for those imprints to remove those. Looking for past life. Looking for ancestral energy. Where do they merge? Where's the growth you want to see? Fascinating. So fascinating. We all can learn to work in the Akashic realm. Take another deep inhale and exhale, grounding and centering. So the program begins on January 22nd. Come join us. reach out, schedule a call with me. Let's talk about it. Many people take me up on my calls. I don't just say that. We talk. Sometimes it works. Sometimes it's not for you. Sometimes it is. I'm happy to speak with you. So as we enter into this new year, it is a time to make different choices, to try new possibilities, to open up, guide yourself into living a life you want. I don't believe life was made to be struggle and hard. I know I've lived it, but I don't want to do that anymore. I want to help you to open up, to live your dreams that you choose to live. Thank you so much for listening, for following along in this meditation. I hope it helped in some way, some form. I am your host, Terry Ann Hyman. To your spirit, namaste.